Are you caring for a loved one with dementia? You don't have to figure this out all on your own. Welcome to Truth, Lies, and Alzheimer's, the show that helps you reimagine a new relationship with your loved one, a relationship a little more free of stress and anxiety. Join host Lisa Skinner and her 30-plus years of experience as she guides you on a new path to a better relationship with those you care for. Here's Lisa.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Truth, Lies, and Alzheimer's show. I'm your host, Lisa Skinner, and I am going to bring up a topic today that is a little uncomfortable, but I felt very strongly that I need to bring it to everybody's attention because it's based on the name of my show, Truth, Lies, and Alzheimer's. And I think everybody has a right to be privy to information that's out there when it comes to making decisions for your loved ones who are living with Alzheimer's disease. And where I found this article actually was published on the website of the Alzheimer's Society of Canada. So I'm going to read this to you. They're obviously very concerned about it. When I read it, I've also been aware of some of these companies and the claims that they're making to treat reverse Alzheimer's. And I think that it's only fair to all of you to be at least be aware of this information. And that way you can make informed decisions for whatever direction you choose to go in with your loved ones. So this is referring to a Dr. Bredesen, and he has a protocol that he offers that the Alzheimer's Society of Canada feels that it's offering false hope of reversing Alzheimer's disease. So this is what's contained in this publication. It's a program that claims to reverse Alzheimer's disease that's growing in popularity, despite lack of evidence that it works. So, in an upcoming film called Memories for Life, Reversing Alzheimer's, will soon be available on streaming services. The film is presented as a documentary and highlights a treatment protocol for Alzheimer's disease developed by Dr. Dale Bredesen and marketed under the name ReCode. The film and Bredesen's books and papers make a number of claims about a treatment protocol that has not yet been proven. Concerns about the protocol have been shared in leading research journals, including the Lancet Neurology Journal and Theoretical Medicine and Bioethics. Best practices for treating Alzheimer's disease are available in more widely verified research, such as the 5th Canadian Consensus Conference on the Diagnosis and Treatment of Dementia. So here's what it says about this protocol. First of all, they claim to reverse Alzheimer's disease. And what the Alzheimer's Society of Canada writes in response to that claim is, to date, there have been no clinically validated systems, medications, or lifestyle changes proven to reverse Alzheimer's disease. The ReCode system includes blood and DNA tests that claim to review a series of factors that contribute to Alzheimer's disease, followed by recommendations that claim to target these risk factors and or reverse the damage already done by them. Finally, the protocol includes several lifestyle changes, including diet, supplements, exercise, sleep, stress reduction, and oral hygiene, as well as brain training games. Dr. Bredesen claims that each protocol is tailored to each individual. While many of the lifestyle changes with the Bredesen protocol may indeed benefit people living with dementia in terms of supporting better quality of life, these changes cannot reverse or cure Alzheimer's disease. There are ways to live well with dementia. I've discussed that on many of my episodes that have been scientifically backed. But making lifestyle changes that help to maintain your current functioning can give you time to stay connected with friends, family, and plan for your future. So, I was thinking about this because Alzheimer's disease has been a brain disease that's been around since mankind first showed up on Earth. And 125 years since Dr. Alois Alzheimer actually put a name to it and autopsied the brain of the client that had it and saw the plaques and the tangles in the brain and decided to call this condition Alzheimer's disease. So my feeling is if somebody out there figured out a way to reverse Alzheimer's disease, wouldn't it stand to reason that everybody on this planet would be rushing to get in on it? That's my thought process, but that's not happening. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. There is significant financial investment required to undergo this RECODE protocol, including the program itself, the testing, the supplements, the alternative therapies, and the special diets that they put their patients on. Most, if not all, these treatments are not covered by health plans. A person may invest thousands of dollars or more in a program that has not been proven to reverse Alzheimer's disease. Now, this Bredesen RECODE protocol and other programs are offered in Canada by a variety of individuals who claim to be experts, though the training program on Bredesen's company website does not require its trainees to have any sort of regulated credential. Medical treatments and lifestyle changes while living with dementia should be implemented in collaboration with your primary care provider. The claims simply aren't backed by science. His research is limited, with papers that share anecdotal stories from 10 to 100 people. A larger sample size replication of his protocol and more peer review are essential to determine if these claims are valid. Anecdotes alone are not enough evidence for a claim of this size. Now, I am airing this program from the United States, and this one is specifically talking about a protocol that is offered in Canada, but there are very similar organizations in the United States that are offering very similar protocols to the one I just read you. So they're here too. As a matter of fact, I've read some of Dr. Ghomi's published pieces in other episodes, but for this topic specifically, he states, now Dr. Ghomi, let me just remind you, he's a neuropsychiatrist, an engineer, and he has professionally diagnosed in his practice over 1,000 patients of his patients with Alzheimer's disease or another brain disease that causes dementia. So this is what he says on this same exact topic. How do you separate science from sales? This question comes up constantly in my practice, he says. Patients bring me books, websites, and protocols promising to reverse dementia. Some claim to be evidence-based, others are expensive marketing. So how can patients tell the difference? That's really the $64 bazillion question. So he uses, this is coincidence, he uses Dr. Bredesen's protocol treatment program as his example too. And he says the good. UCLA trained neurologist with legitimate credentials he's referring to Dr. Bredesen. He's had published peer-reviewed research on Alzheimer's mechanisms, focuses on root causes instead of just symptoms, and emphasizes lifestyle interventions with strong evidence. The concerning charges up to $10,500 for the treatment packages, promises to reverse Alzheimer's disease, which he says in parentheses, an extraordinary claim, relies heavily on testimonials and case studies, promotes expensive supplement regimes, and his framework for evaluating this health information is for everybody considering something like this. You always want to check their credentials. Is the author a licensed physician in the relevant specialty? Do they have hospital or university affiliations? Have they published research in peer-reviewed journals? And has that been recently? And then look for conflicts of interest. Are they selling something expensive? Do they profit from recommending specific products like supplements? Are they making claims that support their business model? And then he recommends evaluate the evidence that you uncover. Are claims based on large randomized trials or just case studies and testimonials? Have results been replicated by independent researchers? And then watch the language they use in their advertising or in talking to you. Real science uses cautious language. In other words, a couple of the examples he uses in quotes, may help or quote unquote suggests. Marketing uses absolute languages like quote unquote reverses, quote unquote cures, quote unquote breakthrough. The Bredesen example, according to Dr. Ghomi, says his core principles are solid. They address sleep, exercise, nutrition, stress, social connection, and these interventions do have strong evidence for brain health. But paying thousands of dollars for personalized protocols, that's a little harder to justify. His advice to his patients, take the good, leave the expensive. Now, he lists free evidence-based dementia preventions, 150 minutes of weekly exercise, a Mediterranean-style diet, 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night, social engagement, stress management. If you have hearing loss, wear your hearing aids. They'll make a huge difference in your risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. You don't. He says you do not need expensive protocols to protect your brain. Red flags in health information. When they make claims like, this is something big pharma doesn't want you to know. This is one weird trick. Testimonials instead of actual raw evidence-based data. Expensive proprietary supplements he includes in that list, and claims that seem too good to be true. The bottom line, be an informed skeptic. And that is why I wanted to bring this information to y'all today in this episode of the Truth, Lies, and Alzheimer's show, because it's only fair to all of you to be aware of this information so you can do your due diligence. Yeah. So that is our two recently published articles about some of the claims that some of these companies are making can do for us. And I think really what we want to take away from this is there is absolutely nothing out there that any scientist, medical professional, anybody knows as of this conversation that can indeed reverse dementia. As far as the claims that it can slow down the progression of it, there's no known scientific evidence to that either. Whether people start to feel better and maybe regain some of their sharpness, possibly. I don't know anybody personally, but just be aware and be informed. So that's what I have for you today on the Truth, Lies, and Alzheimer's show. I am Lisa Skinner, your host. And as always, I hope you have a happy and healthy rest of your week. And I look forward to everybody coming back next week for some more fun-filled information about living with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia. So take good care for now. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Truth, Lies, and Alzheimer's. We hope you found something in today's episode that helps. We understand that caring for a loved one with dementia can be the challenge of a lifetime, but you don't have to do it alone. If you're ready for exclusive access to even more great content and resources, head on over to Facebook and join Lisa's Minding Dementia Support Group. We're a community of like-minded caregivers, and we're here to help.